Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, so as we are 5 days away from WrestleMania, we are 2 days away from the GCW, the Collective, the 8th annual, mind you. Kind of looking at next year. You know, I'm gonna do a preview of the Collective and a preview of the, what's the name of that other, the Palm SlamFest. But I got thinking about next year. So next year we know that WrestleMania is scheduled to be in Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania 43, 2 nights. I don't know if a lot of the independent companies that do like the Collective and do the shows around WrestleMania week will travel to Saudi Arabia. So what I got doing some brainstorming here, got some thinking here, put pen to paper, and came up with an idea that we could hold a pro wrestling showcase next year. The week after, a week before WrestleMania. We obviously would have to wait till WWE announced the dates for WrestleMania there in Saudi Arabia. And then these independent companies like the GCWs of the Wrld, the House of Glories, etc. Some of the ones that are doing shows this year as well, Maple Leaf Pro, Dragon Gate. They can work with a couple of bigger companies. We're talking AEW and TNA. What actually gave me the idea was this past weekend. On Saturday night, we had TNA's Rebellion pay-per-view. Still got to finish watching it. And then on Sunday, we had AEW Dynasty. Still got to watch it. And I'm like, we had 2 major companies doing a show on a Saturday and on a Sunday in the same weekend. Why couldn't we do that next year in the same city? So AEW and TNA would have to come to an agreement of a city to do this in. In my little scenario here, I picked Philadelphia. Huge wrestling town. One, the long lineage of wrestling history there. We have one of the most famous arenas in the world, the 2300 Arena. We have done WrestleMania there, so we've had other companies that show their AEW to TNA. They've all done shows there. So I put together what I would look at as the Pro Wrestling Showcase. This would be the Mania Week shows for 2027, since more than likely these companies won't go to Saudi Arabia. So this is going to include the GCW Collective, which we've had 8 years in a row this year. So the companies under that umbrella would be Dragon Gate, Defy, Progress, WrestleCon, Bloodsport, Maple Leaf Pro, Effy's Big Gay Brunch, Joey Janela's Spring Break, Joe Janela's Clusterf, Wrld on Lucha, typical GCW shows we see at Mania Weekend. And then SlamFest would include Toshi J Pro, so TJPW, House of Glory, Stardom, and CMLL. Again, similar shows we have this year. So the schedule. So we would want AEW and TNA to, again, schedule the same city. Philadelphia is the one I picked. The arenas that typically AEW and TNA both go to is the Lycor Center. TNA's done several shows. They got some scheduled there. Well, Wells Fargo Arena is a little bit bigger arena. That's where a lot of the WWE does like Wrld and stuff at. So one of the 2 companies would have to obviously go to Wells Fargo more than likely. GCW could do the 2300 Arena, or they could do Trinity Central for Urban Life, is where they've done it before. And then you have the Dennis Lottie Catering, which is where some other shows were done during the last WrestleMania weekend. So you have 5 venues there that you could do the Collective, SlamFest, AEW, and TNA stuff. So you would just have to agree what city for TNA and AEW. Again, I picked Philadelphia. Who does Saturday night, who does Sunday? I'm picking TNA for Saturday, AEW for Sunday, based on this past weekend. Obviously, you flip those, it still works out the same. So the way the schedule would work is Wednesday. At 11 o'clock, you have Dragon Gate. At 3 o'clock, so these are almost the same start times that we have this year. At 3 o'clock, we have Stardom. Now, at 7 o'clock, we don't have any other show except for AEW Dynamite. So we don't want to go head to head with Dynamite or head to head with Impact, any of the Collective or the SlamFest. We want those 2 companies, TNA, AEW, to kind of be able to showcase their weekly show live days before their big pay-per-view, and then their big pay-per-view as well. Following AEW Dynamite at 11:59 p.m., we would have Defy Wrestling. On Thursday, we would have Progress at 11 o'clock. We would have WrestleCon at 3 o'clock. TNA Impact live on AMC from Philadelphia 2 days before TNA Rebellion from 7 to 9. Then at 11:59 we would have House of Glory any of the day. On Friday, we would do TJPW at 11, Bloodsport, the GCW Collective, at 3. Then at 7 o'clock, we put on Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. It used to be on Friday nights before WrestleMania. We go ahead and bring that back. And what AEW could do, they could pair that with Collision as well, if they wanted to. Now, I have another idea for Collision, so we'll get there. So Friday night, at 7 o'clock, we have Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. We end that Friday night at 11:59 p.m. with Joey Janela's Spring Break. Wake up on Saturday at 11 o'clock, we have CMLL. At 3 o'clock, we have Maple Leaf Pro. Then at 7 o'clock on Saturday night, we have TNA Rebellion pay-per-view. Then at 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, we have Joey Janela's Clusterf. Now we wake up on Sunday, need a little brunch on the Sunday morning, so what's better than Effy's Big Gay Brunch? We follow that with the Wrld on Lucha, a little Lucha Libre wrestling there for GCW to finish up the Collective. At 6 p.m. on Sunday night, we have AEW Collision live from Wells Fargo Arena. And that AEW Collision would be the pre-show for the AEW Dynasty starting at 7 p.m. So you put a couple matches on Collision, you have all the pre-show stuff, you run that. I love how they do that too. They have that match from the pre-show that runs into the main card to get people that haven't bought it to buy it. So you kind of use AEW Collision here on Sunday night, kind of like they did the Sunday Night Heat back in the day for WWF. So there's your 5 days of wrestling. We took care of the big shows on the weekend, and we normally have WrestleMania Day 1, Day 2. We have TNA Rebellion and AEW Dynasty. We do this right now. What I found online, projected dates for expected for WrestleMania next year was April 3rd and 4th. The weekend before is actually Easter, so I think that would be a bad weekend, so we'd have to go the weekend after. So Wednesday through Sunday would be the 7th through the 11th of April. Now, got your Dynamite, your Impact by themselves, live. You have your pay-per-views by themselves, and you just fill in with the Collective and SlamFest. Perfect scenario to have our amazing wrestling week. Again, Pro Wrestling Showcase is what I called it. I think that would be a great thing to do next year. Again, AEW, we know AEW and TNA, we know with some of the stuff that Carl Silva said lately, they don't want TNA talent wrestling AEW talent on the indies. Let's put that aside. This is just, the only agreement here is who gets Saturday, who gets Sunday, and what city we do it in. But I think we can make that work in 2027. I'd love to hear your thoughts. As always, thanks for watching the Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a 50-day Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader, sports channel content.